Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to the first episode ever of Bite Size Guitar. So the purpose of this series is going to be to give you some really small ideas, some things you can work on 5 to 10 minutes a day, and make some huge changes in your playing, some great improvements over a longer period of time, like a month. And the first thing we're going to be talking about today is bending technique. And this is a technique that I think is really commonly overlooked by beginner or intermediate players. For me, when I was a young player, or when I was younger, I'm still pretty young, I pretty much just overlooked this technique. I really sucked at it, and I kind of just thought, well, I'll get better one day. But it wasn't really until I sat down and really dealt with it and had some exercises and learned some songs that really implemented it, that I really came to grasp the technique a lot better. And for a lot of you, what I'm about to show you will really help you take your bending and make it reliable and solid and accurate. So these are just going to be a couple of exercises that you can do for about 5 to 10 minutes a day, and you'll see some really huge improvements over the course of like a week or two. So this first exercise, we're going to be bending. We're going to be using the scale of B minor. I'm going to be at the 7th position with my index finger. The purpose of this exercise is to give ourselves a reference note and then bend up to that pitch from a lower note. So our reference note here is F sharp, 7th fret on the B string, and we're going to be bending up to it from E, which is 9th fret on the G string. The first motion we're going to practice is a really slow motion, and the purpose of this is to get the bend as accurate and just perfect as we possibly can. So we're going to go as slow as it takes to get the note perfectly on the proper pitch. And when you give yourself the reference pitch, either sing the pitch to yourself or memorize it with your mind's ear. So we're going to try to bend up to that pitch as accurately as we possibly can with the lower note. Maybe even slower than that. Once you get there, memorize how far you had to move. Memorize the motion. How did it feel? What does it look like? Then do it again. After that, we're going to try to implement that same motion at a faster speed. The purpose of this, the slow mixed with the fast, is when we do a slow, we're trying to program our fingers in our mind to memorize how the motion goes to get the bend that we want. When we go fast, we're trying to take that programming and just speed it up. So, in essence, the slow practice is much more important than the fast. Spend more time getting the bend accurate and perfect slowly, and you'll find when you need your bend to be fast, it'll be there. One more note about this is whether you're bending slowly or fastly, make sure that your bend is consistent all the way from beginning to end. What I mean is, it has a consistent motion and speed all the way across. It doesn't start fast and then end slow. And it doesn't start slow and end fast. It's consistent all the way through. And that's the same thing for your fast bends too. They need to be consistently fast. Just one motion, consistent all the way from beginning to end. The next way I would recommend that you practice this is to play your reference pitch and let it sustain all the way through. That way you're kind of doing like a double stop. So I'll be playing my F sharp and bending up from E, but sustaining the reference pitch all the way through. So it'll sound like this. What's great about practicing like this is you can really hear when your bends are on and when they're off. If they're even a few cents off, you're going to get some dissonant waves in your sound, sounding like this. You know how gross that sounds? So you want to get that gross dissonant wave out of the sound and try to get it to flatline. So there's no dissonant waves, or just a few. And you can hear it. It just kind of settles when you get it. So take this. We're bending up a whole step with our ring finger every time, and we can move that through through the B minor scale. So here's our B minor chord. So starting at the 7th fret on the B string, we can do the 8th fret. We can do the 10th fret. And we could do the 12th fret. And you want to get each one of those notes to be as steady and consonant as you possibly can. You can do the same thing with this one. Practice it slow and then practice it fast. So I'll do a slow bend and then do it fast. And you hear I went a little bit sharp there, and what's great is when you go sharp or when you go flat, you can hear it immediately. So going a little bit past there, and I can bring it back down. And now it's pretty much in tune. So try those couple of exercises with a reference pitch and then bending slowly, then bending fast, and then doing the double stops, doing it slowly, doing it fast. And move it through a couple different key centers, maybe move it to E minor, to A minor. Try with some different notes. Maybe try doing some smaller bends. You could always do some half-step bends. So instead of doing whole steps like we were doing there, maybe try doing some half-step bends. And the same thing for those. Practice it slowly first, and then try going fast. I would recommend you not practice this any more than like 5 to 10 minutes a day. There was a time when I was practicing bending, and I would do like 20 or 30 minutes, and my fingers would just be busted. They would be pretty much useless at the end of my session. And that's no good when you want to work on other stuff like your alternate picking, the synchronization between your fingers, or if you need to work on your legato. You can't really work on that if your fingers are all numb from bending for an hour. So 5 to 10 minutes, if you spend 5 to 10 minutes working on your bending over the course of a week or two, wow, what a difference that'll make in your playing. So take those couple of exercises, try them out for a couple days, try them out for a couple weeks, and maybe start your practice session maybe after you've warmed up, and see what kind of difference it makes. If you have any questions about the technique, about the mechanics I'm using to get the bending, give me a comment. And if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe, because there's going to be a lot more videos of these really great small ideas that you can implement into your playing and take them and add them to your practice session over a longer period of time. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.